Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Crossing Gibraltar Presents, the next event in our Cahoots Summertime slate. My name is Tanisha Tate, and I am the Artistic Director of Cahoots Theatre. Cahoots Theatre was created nearly 35 years ago as Canada's first theatre devoted exclusively to racially and culturally diverse work. It makes us a very special company and one that I am very, very proud to co-lead at this particular moment in time. Crossing Gibraltar is a program that has existed for several years. It was created as a theater outreach program in order to have newcomer, immigrant, and refugee theater artists and other artists be able to create a community as newcomers to Canada, or people that had been living in Canada but had not yet connected to the breadth that they wanted to with other artists. It's been an amazing program that has morphed a lot over the years and morphed again this year, which is really exciting. At times it's been only a youth program. At this particular point, there are no age limitations, which means that any artists who want to be a part of it are eligible to be a part of it. And we're really incredibly moved by the wonderful people that are taking part in the program this year, whose work you are about to see very, very shortly. Thank you so much to everyone for being here. It means the world to us. We always know that you could be doing other things. So when you choose to spend it with Cahoots, it's very special and we don't take it for granted. And on that note, I would like to pass things off to my wonderful partner in crime, the managing producer of Cahoots, Lisa Alves.
Thank you, Tanisha Tate. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here tonight. My name is Lisa Alves, managing producer at Cahoots Theatre. Before I pass it off to the facilitators and artists of Crossing Gibraltar, I wanted to go over some access notes and a land acknowledgement. This event has live captions provided by the captioning group tonight. And if you are viewing this live on Zoom, you can click the CC icon at the bottom of your Zoom toolbar to enable either captions or a transcript. If you're viewing the recording on YouTube, you can also click the CC icon in the YouTube video window to enable the captions. Unfortunately, this event is not ASL interpreted. We know that live English captions are not a full substitution for ASL interpretation, since they are two different languages. We apologize for the absence of ASL interpretation. We look forward to continuing to work with the deaf community to successfully integrate ASL in presentations and other Cahoots offerings like this tonight. If you as an audience member experience any technical difficulties, please message me in the Zoom chat by searching my name, Lisa Alves. And if you get disconnected at any time, please click the original Zoom link that brought you here. You can also email me at info@cahoots.ca if there is any other technical issues that may arise. In the chat, I am going to be sharing the program doc that is just a viewable Google Doc of all the artists and facilitators for tonight. Before we begin, though, I want to acknowledge the land we find ourselves on. As a child of Portuguese immigrants, I am grateful to be living on Turtle Island as a queer white woman. I know my life has benefited from the history of white supremacy and colonialism. It is my job to continue to learn about the original caretakers of this land and to unlearn the systems of oppression that provide me privilege, unlike my Black, Indigenous, Latin, Asian, and Brown friends and peers who may also find themselves at various intersections of other identities. I'd like to acknowledge that Cahoots operates on the traditional lands of the Anishinaabe, the Haudenosaunee, the Wendat, and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. This land is known by many names, such as Treaty 13 territory and Dagaronto, a word from the Mohawk meaning trees standing in the water. Dagaronto has always been a meeting place because of how the waterways intersect. There are many buried rivers under the city's current infrastructure. Cahoots is within the Wampum Belt Covenant, the Dish with One Spoon territory. This is an agreement between the caretakers of the shared territories and hunting grounds. I am currently working on the land near Wanscontenac, colonially known as the Don River. I invite everyone in the Zoom meeting to put into the chat where you're watching from tonight as a part of a way to acknowledge the land you find yourself on. And if you're watching on YouTube, please put in the comments section where you're watching from as well. I still have a little bit more to say, so continue. If you want to add to the chat where you're watching in from, go ahead to do so. The Canada I learned in school was built on genocide, colonialism, slavery, militarization, sterilization, and ableist beliefs to support white settler ancestors. What is happening all over Turtle Island is not isolated or independent from the genocide and apartheid happening in Palestine and the crisis in Afghanistan. The Canadian government, and in extension this country, has benefited from genocidal violence and global displacement. I would also like to mention that the technology we are using tonight comes at a great cost from the devices we are using to Zoom, created so that we can all be together. Our computers were built from materials mined from the earth, which has displaced people and forced people to work in dangerous conditions for low wages to benefit companies we in the West buy from. With those devices, this technology produces huge amounts of CO2 emissions, which is contributing to the climate emergency we are in and affecting Indigenous communities all over the world. I urge you all to take a look at what land you are on and question the names of institutions, streets, landmarks, because we are entrenched in upholding this history that doesn't benefit anyone except a few. I would also encourage you to learn about the history of the residential schools through the Indian Residential School Survivor Society. Learn about the missing and murdered Indigenous women, girls, trans, and two-spirited people. Read the Truth and Reconciliation Report, especially if you're an avid reader. Learn about Indigenous artists and support their work. Learn about defunding the police. Learn about what the Canadian government is doing in regards to Palestine or the lack thereof. Learn about the humanitarian actions that the Canadian government has put in place and impacted Afghanistan. And please stay informed about what's happening globally, even if news stories dry up or turn to focus on other headlines. I have created a Google Doc that is a list of actionable items that you can use after this presentation. It's a non-exhaustive list, and you should do more work, but you can utilize to learn and donate to the various causes because some of the work is already done there for you. Just open the Google Doc and begin or continue the work. Thank you. I am going to pass the floor on to Crossing Gibraltar's facilitators, Yolanda Bonnell and Shaista Latif, and producer Olivia Short. Thank you all.
Miigwech, Lisa. Miigwech, Tanisha.
Yes, I mean, that was quite an opening, and that was quite a land acknowledgement. Do you know what I mean? So that was very powerful. I really appreciate the effort in putting together those resources and also just locating the time and place and you know, the environments that we are currently in and the realities that we have to face. So welcome everybody. We're so happy to see your faces and for you to make some time to come up and sign up for this event and take the time to support these wonderful artists. And we're so excited to get this started. So I'm Shaista Latif. I'm a queer Afghan working class artist, and you know, we've spent the last 15 weeks working on this project. And for myself, I work as a performer. I also work in other mediums as well. And a majority of my work focuses on displacement and the politics of inclusion and how we make sure to highlight a lot of these hidden stories and hidden extractive economies that exist on this land and globally. I'm going to pass it over to Yolanda, my amazing co-facilitator.
Ani everyone, bonjour. Yolanda Ndishnakas, Gijibamanga Nindigo Jibwemang Makwanindodam, Fort William First Nation in Donjaba, Degarando, Ninda. Hello, my name is Yolanda Bonnell. My spirit name is Circling Wolf. I'm Bear Clan from Fort William First Nation in Thunder Bay, Ontario, otherwise known as Superior Robinson Treaty Territory. But myself and my arts practice are based here in Degarando. I'm a queer, two-spirit, Anishinaabe, Ojibwe, South Asian, mixed playwright, performer, facilitator, and educator. My work really is land-based focused. I work a lot in land-based creation, and I'm co-artistic leader of Managing's Collective, and a lot of the work that we do is geared towards dismantling current systems of theater and trying to create more safer spaces for folks to tell stories that aren't rooted in colonial structures. So that's some of the work that I do. And I'm just so honored to have been sharing this space for, I don't even know how long, I don't even know how long when we started, Shaista, but it's been such an honor to work alongside Shaista, who is an amazing, amazing advocate, artist, performer, agitator, revolutionary. And I am just like so happy to have gotten the chance to do this and to work with all these incredible participants. We've been having so many different types of discussions. I've learned, I know that I am not the same person. Like, I've learned so much from every single one of these folks. And I'm just so excited for them to share those bits with you too.
Yeah, no, thank you so much, Yolanda. It's been, 16 weeks of us coming together in this space once a week, slowly getting to know each other, and everyone coming from different experiences and different intersectionalities and different languages. And just, it's a hard balance, like figuring out how to cultivate space. And it's sometimes a little bit sad thinking about that we're not able to do this in a space together, because the power of performance is so radical to be able to witness something at once. So we're hoping that we'll also be able to create some of that magic today. It's really hard because here we're smiling, we're laughing, we're coming together, we're a bundle of nerves, and there's just so much to put on the table. And then also just coupled with what is going on globally as well, and just the displacement that is occurring. And I don't know, it's hard to say this in an eloquent way, and it's hard to give a kind of analysis because we're also overwhelmed by that online in so many ways. But just to humanize it, to say that it's just so vital to create spaces like this where we can actually come together and have dialogue and take these very hard, difficult issues that we live with, that affect our family, that affect our friends, that affect our communities, and be able to transform it into a piece of creativity that people can, connect to and take away with. So this is the main thing that we want to, have you all take away, is that it's really important to continue the dialogue, whether it's here in this space and beyond this show, is that we're trying to model what it means to be like politically engaged and to be informed, and to do it with a lot of care and respect.
Mm-hmm. And politically engaged in an artistic way as well, which I think is what's so beautiful about art that is rooted in political or like points of view or activism, is that we get to see, we're not just understanding facts of situation, we're understanding emotions and feelings and lived experiences. And that's like Shaista said, is that this is so much about the importance of platforming voices of folks that are just being displaced. There aren't many safe spaces for folks to tell stories, because often when we're given those opportunities, they end up being violent. And so the importance of safety and the importance of offering that space, I think is one of the most exciting things about being able to do this.
Yes, of course. And I think the other thing to also add is that we're not particularly restrictive with what people wanted to cover. and the subject matter of what they wanted to cover and how they wanted to do it. So, mind you, as we're saying, that there, is some content warning, some trigger warning as well. You will see, an address of violence on different levels. You will see, perhaps I'm going to get a little bit more specific, like a knife, other elements that also, point to, the violence of displacement, war, all of this is included in the work that we do. So if you need to take a moment after you witness something, if you need to take a second, please do so and take care of yourselves as you're going through this. Yolanda, is there anything else that I have perhaps missed?
I would say there you might see blood as well, fake blood, and mentions of genocide. So I mean that might be like already implicit, but like just to say that is also. But other than that, no, I think
yeah, I think we're just really, really excited to just see what this is. I think all of this is a result of everyone's resiliency, their joy, their power, their consistency, and their ability to keep showing up in the world in the ways that really count, just through the voice and through the body and being present in a collective space. And then also we have our wonderful producer, Olivia Short, who has been an absolute thrill to work with. We have felt so incredible to have your presence and to just always feel like, okay, Olivia's got this and is there to back us up at any moment. So I'm just going to pass it over to Olivia, our wonderful producer.
Miigwech Olivia Short Indushnakaz, Northbane Donjaba Besho Nipasine, Makwa Dodem. My name is Olivia Short. My family is Irish and Anishinaabe, and I am also from the Bear Clan. I am currently on a different territory than I normally find myself. I usually am in Dagarando, but I'm currently in Lenape Hakeem, the area that's taken care of by the Lenape peoples. And I also find myself very excited to just be a part of this with all of you, and for the audience watching and listening. We're so excited to show you what these wonderful artists have to show you tonight. And I feel like it's been a year of Zoom and everyone's very naturally gone off camera and has muted themselves. So I say thank you to our audience who has done that. What I will say is at the very end of the show, and we'll make it obvious, you'll see our participants all come back on screen. And Yolanda and Shaista will come back and let you know that the show is over. We do ask you as the audience, we want to see your beautiful faces. So we encourage you to turn your cameras back on then. And also, if you'd like to show your appreciation for the work that you've experienced and seen tonight, you can unmute yourself to clap and to whatever way that you express joy in seeing art. So I have been a part of this as an administrator. I've been the producer for this program. It's been a real honor to be a part of this, and I'm so grateful to be here tonight. And I'm going to be off camera for the rest of the time until the end. I will pass it back to Yolanda and Shaista.
Perfect. So just to reiterate, keep your wonderful, amazing applause until the end of the show.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is just going to do, we're going to introduce the wonderful group of participants. So we're just going to go around doing that. Yolanda and I will take turns calling on y'all. And we're just going to ask you, share a fun fact with the audience. So the first person I'm going to call on is Mina.
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Mina. I come from Iran. I'm really happy and excited, and I hope you guys enjoy tonight and learn a lot because we are here. And one fun fact, I haven't cut my hair for 12 years. That's it.
Miigwech, Mina. I am going to call on Tan.
Hello everyone, my name is Tan Vu and I'm a Canadian artist of Vietnamese descent. So I had performed in plays, musical theater and opera in Saigon before I went to New York for musical theater training. And during the training, I received my Canadian PR. So I moved here in November 2019, a few months before the COVID shutdown. So it has been a wild ride, but that's why I'm grateful for this opportunity, grateful to Tanisha, Lisa, Olivia, Shaista, Yolanda, for the opportunity to work and collaborate with other artists and also to create my own work. So I would like to share with you the costume I'm wearing is called Aoyai, handmade by my mother, and it traveled with me 40 hours on the plane. And so it is a part of me in every audition to make me feel that mother is here. And on it is also some scenery of Vietnam, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, Tan. I'm going to pass it over to Riaz.
Shubho Sandhya. I'm talking in Bangla. I'm from Bangladesh. Shubho Sandhya means good evening. Today is the big day for us. Thank you so much to joining us and encouraging us for the night. And we just ex waiting for this moment, tirelessly working couple of weeks, and we hope all the best. And one of the fun fact to me, when I travel, really I feel so much hungry. I don't know what why it is, but in real time, regular time, I didn't feel so much hungry. That's it.
Miigwech, Riaz. I'm gonna pass it to Paz.
Hello, everyone. Hola a todos. Thank you so much, Yolanda, Shaista, Olivia, for this wonderful space. Also to Tanisha, Lisa, all Cahoots. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I'm Paz Jurado. I'm from Chile, a wonderful and nice country with very bad politicians. So yeah, I'm an actress. I've been living and traveling in Chile, in Mexico, Guatemala, and now here in Turtle Island. And I've been acting and doing that. What can I say? Well, I have some penguins on the back, if you can see. I love penguins. And now a fact is that minery is affecting the life of the penguin. So it's not fun, it's sad, but the penguin is with me. Yeah, that's it.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Paz. I'm going to pass it on to Andale.
Good evening, everybody. I hope you can hear me well. My name is Andile Nguyen, and I am an actor across many media, film, television, theater, as well as most recently voiceover. And yeah, I'm really grateful to be part of this program, just because I am from an environment where there isn't necessarily an entertainment industry, so to speak, but it's still an environment where people can't help but make art. And so that's just made me strengthen my resolve to stick with the process and be in love with the process. And that's something that I've tried to impart to the young people that I've been teaching over the summer as a guest facilitator for Shakespeare in Action on York and Weston Road. And I suppose aside from that, if I could just do anything, for an undisclosed period of time, I would just travel and see what creations come that way and just forget about climbing the ladder, so to speak. And that's what my mind is. I hope you enjoy the show.
Miigwech, Andile. Peristu.
Hello, my name is Parastu and I'm from Iran. Fun fact about me, I love kids. I love working with kids, and I've done so many puppet shows. That's it about me.
Okay, awesome. After Parastu, Raj, thank you.
Thank you, Shaista, and thank you everyone for joining us today. It's very, very special for all of us. This is my first theater performance. I'm a filmmaker, a storyteller, and that's why I'm here today. I work with actors a lot, and this is the first time that I would be performing. So it's really, really wonderful. I focus on stories which are around LGBT characters, LGBT lives, and around displacement and immigration. And yeah, thank you so much. Thank you so much once again.
Crystal.
My name is Crystal, and I am from Trinidad. I am extremely grateful to be able to participate in this program because, especially over the course of the pandemic, I found that a regular arts practice helped me to manage and navigate some health issues. And so a fun fact about me is that I have managed to published over 75 articles since last year.
That is so wild. Okay, I did not know that. That's amazing. I'm going to pass it over to Muna.
Hi, I am Muna. I also go by Warda. Sometimes life tastes sour, sometimes Mama Dusa. I have multiple names. But I am originally from Djibouti, and I am a visual artist and a film producer and a writer. And most of my stories are about the home, change, and the body. And fun fact about me. I go on night walks and collect flowers. I am just obsessed with flowers. And my home is just like a nature. Nature's inside my home, even though it's unfair to do that to nature, but it's inside. It makes me happy. And that's it for me.
Miigwech Runa. Maher.
Hello and marhaba everyone. My name is Maher Sunno. I am from Beirut, Lebanon, and I currently am in Beirut, Lebanon. So to add on to all those amazing action items that Lisa has mentioned, and like the call to educate yourselves about things happening, I would love if folks know a little bit more about Lebanon and what's happening there today, because I'm living it right now. Yeah, and a fun fact about me. I am obsessed with sad girl songs. That's my jam usually all the time. So, so there you go. That's a fun fact about me.
Me too. Miigwech Maher. I think that's everyone.
Yeah, it is. So we're about to start the show. And so if you are an audience member, make sure to turn off your camera. We will see your lovely faces at the very end of the show. Make sure that you mute yourselves as well. And so, we're just going to dive a little bit into it right now. And, part of being a part of this program is figuring out what our relationship is to this land and to this nation that is called Canada. And I remember years ago, I was speaking to one of my really good friends about, what was their experience like coming here from Colombia. And what they had told me is that in Colombia, they had all these ads like all around the country about Canada with people being on skis, coming down snowy mountains, and it just looked like a giant ski resort. So that's the kind of idea that they had of Canada. And then when they arrived here, they arrived in London, Ontario. And if you know what London, Ontario looks like, it does not look like a ski resort. So for them, it was quite a shock. So, in the weeks that followed, we really just kept thinking about and talking about, what we, thought we knew about Canada, like the kind of images that came with it, and versus what we know now, like living with it. So, Karastu, like, what did you think about Canada before, and what do you know about it?
A beautiful picture with tall, skinny, and blonde hair. Canada looked like a beautiful yet unreal picture. What I saw was still a beautiful picture, but more colorful, with tall, short, thin, fat, beautiful, ugly, and so diverse where you felt more at home.
What I was told is that Canada is a free, open place with prairies, with friendly people, full of opportunity, the promise of success, and the freezing cold.
Canada is the second biggest land in the world, and the population is not too big amount.
What I was told about Canada is a country with no violence, no guns, and no racism.
Canada is a developed country in terms of economical and political situation is more stable.
Canada was a country where everyone could reach their dreams, but so many failed to do it.
What I know about Canada is racism, Indigenous rights violations, missing and murdered Indigenous women, poverty and homelessness, disease, failure, loss, isolation, struggle, fear.
Canada is a multicultural and multilingual country.
Before I came to Canada, I heard from my brother that you have to work hard in your college or school and people start working at age of 14 and 15. And I heard about studying in Canada that is not easy to pass and you have to work hard. Also, many people warn me that I should be very careful about my behavior and not be angry, and I should always follow the rules.
But there are so many tragic histories about First Nation of Canada.
After I arrived in Canada, almost everything was true, and I had to work hard both in school and at work. But I realized that not all people are following the laws.
About the land, about the colonized environment, about systemic racism.
In Canada, there are people who do not behave well at all and treat you with violence.
It's hard to think when all my mind and body is stuck with emotions. Emotion that I don't know how to express. It is hard for me to keep my mind in blank. I don't know how to start, how to jump into the life that is nothing for me. Water, rain, noise, feelings, 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 emotions, lights, dreams, dreams of a past life. Memories, illusions. Life is an illusion that we create. Create mind and body, body, scars, scars. Air.
never consented to be confined. People like you should be fined for imposing such invasive ideas on my ancestors, my community, in whom I go to confide. My secret getaway. Whenever you put me in your prescribed box, the only escape is towards my thoughts, to see a place far beyond what your colonization has taught. Cheap ways of living, I never bought a ticket to this ride. Consent is not only a physical concept, but also when you invade my heart, my spirit, my land. But I have seen men enslaved by their own freedom. I have seen women freed in spite of their oppression. I have seen humans repurpose the ideation of freedom with chains in their calves and locks in their legs. Gibran Khalil Gibran once said that crime is often a community who failed, not a person. Yet we find prisons bombarded with community members as if they failed a community that never failed them. What about all the hurt we've inherited? Intergenerational fears, traumas, and negative perceptions that freedom only comes by following the norm. They say if you want a helping hand, all you gotta do is reach. But often I have found that the only hand that held mine is mine. And sometimes it's damn hard to pull yourself up by yourself. And I see two arms shackled by the confines, that ancestors, that colonization, that so-called integration bombarded by blasphemous beauty. It's often hard to see the real beauty inside. When wishing on an empty well withers the soul within, and my bones have been bled out of my body over my home cedar trees when I left. That's why you see me walking with a limp, can't carry myself up, especially when my Lebanon is in shambles. And still you ramble about how you need me to go back to my country, as if it's easy to carry all the broken pieces of yourself from ashes and dust. Pull yourself up, they say, but I am no God to know which limb goes on first, to know which limbs are mine, because I am not the only one. I am one among many like me. But I swear, I try my hardest to be the best person I can be. And I promise there once was a kid back in my home country who knew how to dream, who found beauty amidst chaos and ignored the chaos within beauty. Before they immigrated, before they inherited colonial rule, before they inherited ancestral burden, before they were lost, they found their freedom within the confines of four walls, within the confines of a treasure box full of childhood toys, full of love, full of freedom. Never questioned the irony of finding freedom within a box.
Xin chào. My name is Tanvu. Today, I would like to talk about hope. When I was a boy, my hope was simply that my father would not beat me. Like other children born and raised in the conservative Vietnamese culture, I spent my entire childhood living a life shaped by the sound of the bamboo cane. A B on an exam, feminine gestures, standing up for myself. As a boy, I learned that being loved was conditional on being subservient to my family and the society. I was tamed into this mold of a tiny, tiny cog in this gigantic wheel of standards and expectations. Among colleagues, friends, and even family, I never felt I belonged. I spoke, but nobody listened. It seemed as if an invisible wall existed, where everyone was together on one side and I the other, waving and hollering, hoping to be seen, to be heard, but ended up invisible.
Why can't they hear me? Why can't they see what I yearn to say? Who I long to be? The stories I'd share, the songs I would sing, the dreams I treasure, hiding in my heart. And I'm waving, waving in the dark. And I'm reaching, reaching for a hand. And I'm waiting, waiting for a voice. But all is silence, all is dead. So I'm singing, singing through the dark, and I'm lighting, lighting up my heart, and I'm searching, searching for a soul, but all was in vain, all in vain.
When the whole world turned its back on me, musical theater gave me my voice, freed me from my chains, opened my heart, and sent my feet flying. I was reborn into a world full of song and dance, into the joy of being myself. So this time, hope turned into action. On the day of my departure from Vietnam, only my mother came with me to the airport. There were few words exchanged. My mother squeezed my hand as we looked into each other's eyes. Oh, how I wish silence had carried a soothing sound. I wish I could travel back in time to sing words of comfort to that lonely young man, to assure him that everything is going to be okay, that he is not alone, and that he is indeed astonishing.
So I'm running, running to the light. Yes, I'm soaring, soaring to the sky. And I'm flying, flying on the stars. And all of my dreams are set free.
And my journey begins.
No justice! No peace! No justice! No peace! No truth! Hands up! No truth! Hands up! No truth! Black lives matter! Black lives matter! Black lives matter!
Peace, love, future, blossom, gunpowder, love letters. Tell me about the spring. Tell me about love. Tell me about peace. Tell me about the future. Tell me untold stories. Tell me about gunpowder houses. Tell me about the blossom. Tell me about love letters. Tell me about yourself.
What I was told about Canada, happiness and wealth.
What I was told about Canada are white fairy tales of post-racial myths on stolen land.
What I know about Canada, mental illness, depression, homelessness.
What I know about Canada is settler colonialist white supremacist trauma.
I was told that it's a country full of beautiful places.
Respect to the nature.
What I was told about Canada are well-meaning white folks welcome immigrants here.
But what I know now is that beauty can be a facade to hide the scars of isolation.
What I know about Canada, mining, exploitation, and appropriation of water rights over other lands.
What I know about Canada are shadows of racism followed by defensiveness.
I was told that it's the land of lakes.
What I was told about Canada, respectful with the native nations.
And now I know that for the most year, you cannot swim in those lakes. What's worse is that there are original inhabitants of this land who don't even have clean drinking water.
What I know about Canada, genocide.
What I was told about Canada are ever apologetic, polite folks believe in equity here.
I was told that it's one of the most accepting places.
What I know about Canada is that complacent white supremacy makes me the problem.
Yes, it's accepting if you talk, act, and eat like them, but then you end up realizing that you're all changed, and yet it has not really accepted you. And any day you could be told, go back where you came from.
What I was told about Canada, respect to all the ethnicities.
What I was told about Canada are white fairy tales of post-racial myths on stolen land.
I was told that it's the Hollywood North, full of opportunities for artists.
What I know about Canada, Islamophobia, Zionism.
What I know about Canada is settler colonialist white supremacist trauma.
While you may see colors on screen, have you ever seen how they are shown? It's all one color off screen, and getting your foot in the door may take years because the gatekeepers hold it too tight.
What I was told about Canada, defenders of all human rights.
What I know about Canada.
What I know about Canada
is
silence.
What is life if it's not a search of your true self? Probably is that myself very deep inside of me, trying to breathe, to go out honest, sincerely, truthful. Where? Where? Where am I? Where? Where? Where you are? Are you inside of my body? Or are you outside of my mind? Were you? Were me? Were you? Me? Me? You? Us? Together? What if knowledge is another being? If knowledge is another being, how will it be? Did he smile? Or did he cry and run? Where does knowledge lives? In my body? Knowledge lives in my stomach. It's the one that hurts me when I'm sad, that guide me when I'm lost, and gave me a smile when I'm happy. Knowledge.
Who am I? গাহি সাম্যের গান, যেখানে আসিয়া এক হয়ে গেছে সব বাধা ব্যবধান।
But then, who are you? Butterfly going through metamorphosis. I once lay deep inside my land, and I was like everybody. but I still was somebody. I was taken out of my land and refined. But what is refined? Who decides that?
Nobody. Nobody can slash us.
If I look a certain color or talk like them, who decides that? The ones that I grew up with are gone. Now I'm blended with water again. Only to take a different shape. Molded by somebody as they liked, whatever they asked, I did. And look, what I have turned into.
মোদের বাড়ি এসো।
Who is this? Is it me?
পালং নাই
Is it me?
কুকুর চোখে বসো।
What I've turned into. Is it me? Is it me?
কুকুর চোখে বসো।
Is it me?
Death from academia's white supremacy. Daily dispossession of my mind. That is what they demand. As they say, relationships are valued here without clarifying at whose expense. They claim to welcome feedback, but implicitly expect uncritical allegiance, even suffocating us for it if needed. My existence is always resistance. I rebuke the daily intentional amnesia in which my colleagues invest by remembering this institutional violence. I strive to make it safe for disabled students because we have never been disposable despite what your violence implies. When you harass us hourly, you expect us to internalize that. But I rebuke your fuckery. My gut wrenches and my heart breaks as Indigenous profs question themselves, because even when children's bodies are unearthed, hurt white feelings still take precedence in academia. White supremacy in academia only ever takes. It takes our stepping stones. It takes our breathing room. It will not hesitate to take our lives. It is why I give myself grace, just as white supremacy never will, because it teaches through trauma. I take breaks for myself, and I give my loved ones time, just as white supremacy never will. I pour into BIPOC community and set boundaries with whiteness, because white supremacy teaches through trauma, and it will not hesitate to take our lives.
Where is it that knowledge lives in my body? I don't always know, because people almost never ask. I can just say my brain, obviously, but that's what I know to say. Nerves? Still too obvious. Cells? That's getting somewhere. So much information stored in my DNA. My heart? Indeed, it does think in ways that I've not always honored. Hands? They felt, lost, buried, uncovered, and created so much. The pelvis? It is the root of my connection with my experience. Where does love live? Again, I don't know. Maybe in my being, energy, aura field, a force bigger than my mere body, beyond space and time. In my being, is love is an endless resource that I can receive and give freely.
I was born naked. I, truth in body. I love to dance, stretch, and exist naked. But family, femininity, ambition, capitalism, my father, mother, society decided to dress, weigh, and cover me with shit. You are the Somali Muslim immigrant black girl. They don't say clothed truth, they say naked truth. Free me from the expectation of someday becoming someone's mother, to be the perfumed, beautiful voice, really good manners, closed legs, accessorized, nail varnished, lipstick, shaved, dressed. nice girl that smells like silk. The perfect woman, good in bed with the perfect good family, perfect body, good to others, her friends, her people. She cares about the earth. What a good woman, such a good woman girl. Where does knowledge live? In my body. Where does knowledge live? In my body. Down here, the kitty, the vajayjay, tells you when it's stressed, when it's irritated, when you have neglected your whole self, when it hasn't laughed or been pleased properly. It knows more than mind and mouth. It knows and warns of who is worth the worry and who is causing discomfort. The body, the self, the heart and mind seem to dismiss flags, signs, or when a boundary has been crossed. But when the pum-pum speaks, it really gets attention. It roars silently inside, it throws a fit of itch, smell, drops, punches, kicks from within, till you can no longer ignore her. When the mouth asked, where does knowledge live? It kept saying stomach. But knowledge was scoffing, saying, of course it's in the mind. How can you miss the blatant truth, child? However, vagina sent a piercing pitch from me toes to me head till body, mouth, mind said, you're right, vagina. We should shut up and notice you, babe. Sorry we always forget you. Aching to be heard, taken care of, tend to. Sorry, pussy. We're afraid of vulnerability, missing the true knowledge holder and the answer that misses everybody's lips. You know, I didn't know for 20 odd years how to say vagina in Somali. And the other day it dawned on me that I did in fact know, because my mum would yell, Sil kaga was, which translates to, fuck your pussy.
No, this is not a technical difficulty or a Zoom lighting error. I'm in Lebanon right now, visiting. I have no electricity. Sadly, I have to speak to you in English today, even though I didn't want to. I had prepared a performance in Arabic, but I want my little rant, my words to be accessible today by colonizers, by allies, by everyone. And I want to speak about this, how I have everything right now, yet nothing at the same time around me. How I have everything that makes a home, but it's like everything is so foreign to me now. Ever since the port explosion, very little has surprised the Lebanese people. The hospitals are literally running out of fuel to run their private engines because the electricity in the country doesn't come on only like for 3 hours a day. People who need ventilators or whatever those other things are called to survive will just be cut off of it if we don't find fuel for them. That's not the wildest part though. What makes me go question my morals and integrity, my humanity, is that I am like, that is expected. I'm not fazed by it until maybe mentally I put a loved one there in the hospital instead. Then I start to feel numb, but with like this one little tear dropping from my eye kind of numb instead, wanting to do anything for them, but probably knowing deep inside that I can't. It is not normal that in the 2 weeks that I have been here so far, I have said goodbye to 6 of my closest friends and counting, some of the most promising people. And I thought, yeah, oh well, in my selfish mind, I thought it will just be fun. I'll just have fun partying with someone else or whatever I'll find to distract myself in Lebanon. Boy, was I a selfish little fucked up foreigner. You see, fighting, revolution, humanitarian work, giving in general is so easy when it's glamorous. But now I feel numb. I don't know if I can help, but I kind of don't even want to try. I want to wait till the revolution becomes glamorous. Not now. Well, I can't even help my own family most of the times. I can't help myself deal with my emotions either. So really, maybe I just can't help to begin with, or I don't know how to. When you've been teared out of your home, both physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually for so long and so suddenly that intensifies, you forget how to love your home. Or you also never learned how to stand up for it, I guess. And since I'm only visiting, I feel like I shouldn't even have permission to complain or to be sad. I feel guilt if I go out here or if I am in Toronto. Maybe the only way to feel less guilt is to die in vain for my country or whatever. I thought I'd be coming back to a slightly altered version of home that I can learn to love as I do every time I come here. But this time it's so different. I feel so weak, so angry at the people who did this, who got us here, who have never apologized, who have the audacity to steal, to lie, to kill. I can blame colonization and imperialism all I want, but, and don't get me wrong, they have a big part to play in everything going on, from French colonization to what's happening today everywhere because of our beloved allies. But some vile things done do not require any phenomenon or larger processes, but evil, vile people, from leaders to citizens to paramilitaries in Lebanon, with no grace, no mercy, not mercy, because that implies they have any power over my body, and I do not want to think of that. Vile people with no grace and no ounce of my interpretation of humanity. I don't want to believe anyone has power over my body, because it's the only kind of sovereign state that I really belong to now. Just want to be free. But instead, I feel like I'm in limbo. Just want to be home, but this feels foreign, like Toronto for a long time has felt. This don't feel like home no more. This don't feel like home no more. مش بيتي هيدا. مش بيتي. مش بيتي.
Desert, emptiness. What I have in front of me is just emptiness. Un vacío, la nada. A desert of thoughts, emotions, and ideas. And yet will be everything. Will be my future and maybe my last stop. How do I feel now? I feel like flying in an ocean of clouds where anything can happen except come back. I don't have a turning back. Un viaje sin retorno.
One thing that was shocking about Canada when I first got here, the coldness, the loneliness, the social isolation.
What shocked me about Canada is that people smoke a lot of weed. Drinking and socializing are one. True friends are not easy to make. Country's huge. Even bigger is the space between them.
I'm a gay man from a conservative town. So when I learned that same-sex marriage is legal in Canada, I decided to move here so I could be myself and connect with people like myself.
Especially that it takes so long to develop meaningful relationships and friendships. I faced a lot of isolation from peers, friends, teachers, even in the dating world. You don't look Arab.
Anxiety land. Don't offend the broad spectrum. Don't touch, ask consent. Don't ask where you're from, but we can ask you, the you with the accent. Is that British? Australian? South African, maybe? Can we guess? Can we guess? Honestly, I don't care. I love talking about this. Where is home? Where are you from? Who are you? But can I ask you?
After 1.5 years here, I found it challenging to meaningfully connect both in and out of the LGBT world.
God forbid I mislabeled you or mispronounced you. Social engines will force me into oblivion. The you with the accent should know better. Oh, okay. Another thing I must learn to feel safe here.
One image I remember, the space, the large open spaces, barren mostly, not used efficiently, emptiness. Space, a peace, yet panic all at once.
Well, perhaps it is COVID and its army of Zoom talking heads that keep us apart while feeding us the illusion that we're still connected. Or perhaps I've yet to figure out a way to fit in.
Have you been to the West Coast? That's where? Can you tell me which landmark it's nearby? Is it near the Toronto sign or PG Clucks? You have been here for 3 years. Get with the social currency. Mate, where is Canada is what I was saying a few years ago. Now here I am, a place I didn't know existed, nor did I want to be here. But I should know by now.
Well, I'm grateful for what I have here in Canada, especially during the pandemic. I just wish I felt I belonged. Somewhere. Somehow.
So I understand you, Canada, since I came to you. But where is the patience for me? Canada is where I found to connect in a roundabout way. What's your name? What does it mean? Where is it from? Aha, that's the way in. You see, I'm not here to offend you, to box you. I'm the one seeking refuge here. I just want safety, a home, a family, and to connect.
Yolanda shared a question that I admired so much. What if you were welcomed by indigenous people to this land instead? How different would your appreciation for the space be?
Okay, miigwech. Can we just everyone come off mute? Everyone put your camera on and please give these artists an amazing round of applause, please. Miigwech, everyone, for being here, for joining us. Thank you for engaging and for being witness to these incredible stories, to these voices, to these amazing humans.
I'm just so emotional right
now.
now.
I know.
It's very hard. It's been an absolute honor to be able to spend the last 16 weeks with everybody and to just be able to see their art and their craft and their voice. So I really love you all, and I really appreciate just being able to bear witness to your amazing creativity. So I just want us to give one more round of applause because they're so deserving it. So if you can unmute yourself, you're the performers as well, and I just want you to just experience what it feels like to be witnessed in this way and to feel that applause.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you want to follow up with these artists, you can. If you want to advocate for these artists, you can. If you have wonderful opportunities to offer these artists, you can and you should. And really thank you again to Tanisha and Lisa and Olivia and Yolanda. And for everybody that's taken the time for this, we wish you a wonderful evening. Please take care of yourselves. And for the rest of us, we'll be staying back to do our little checkup. Much love.
Miigwech.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night, everyone.
Have a wonderful night. Thank you, everybody. I'm very, very proud of these artists. Really deeply proud. And in moments like these moments, I'm so blessed to be leading this particular company. Thank you so much. To everybody that has been supporting us and has, come out for Cahoots work, please continue to do so. This Thursday night, we will have the next performance in the Cahoots Summertime series, which is Supermodel, which will be happening at 7 p.m. on Zoom and YouTube. And you can find out how to register for that on our Facebook page and other social media pages. Thank you so much for your support. So much love to everybody. Have a wonderful, wonderful evening.